Today is a perfect day for some French onion soup. First, let's get started with the croutons. With a round cutter or a glass, get the measurement of the inside of your bowl and cut your circles for your croutons. Drizzle some olive oil and some salt and bake at 350 for 10 to 15 minutes or until golden brown like this. Now we can continue with the soup ingredients. We have 2 pounds of sweet onions, some all-purpose flour, a couple of bay leaves, bunch of thyme, about 10 peppercorns, Gruyere and Comté cheese, and not shown is also 2 slices of provolone. Let's get started on the soup. In some cheesecloth, grab a bunch of thyme, 2 bay leaves, and the 10 peppercorns, tie it up and reserve it on the side. Peel and slice your onions. All 2 pounds of onions are going to be sliced and used. We heat the pot on medium heat, a couple teaspoons of neutral oil, and the onions go straight in. Remember to keep them on medium heat. We don't want to burn the onions, so while on medium heat, slowly cook down the onions like so, and this process is gonna take a while. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt to start the seasoning process and to draw the moisture out. Salt's going to draw the natural moisture out of the onions, so all we have to do is keep continuing to stir without burning the onions. You do not want to burn the onions, otherwise they'll be bitter and you have to start all over again. At this point you can see the onions are starting to get some color, so this is where you start babysitting your onions. You turn your heat down to low and you continuously cook your onions down. Eventually the moisture in the onions are going to disappear and you're going to see the onions gain more color. You keep continuing to cook the onions on low and just be patient. At this point, almost all the moisture is gone and it's starting to take on its nice golden brown color. At this point, you can see all the brown bits of flavor. Be careful and keep it on low. Do not burn your onions. People like to cheat with sugar, but you don't have to with this method because you want the natural sweetness of the onions to come out. At this point, we add 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour. You cook that into your onions, and also you want to try and cook out the floury taste of the flour. So we just continue on low, cooking on heat, cooking out the onions and the floury taste, and we deglaze with 32 ounces of beef broth. At this point, we want to go ahead and bump it up to medium. Add your cheesecloth full of spices, and you want to start to simmer your soup about a good 30 to 45 minutes. Give your soup a taste. Adjust your seasonings again with some salt if needed. Keep simmering your soup. And about 30-45 minutes, you want to check it. Your soup should be a little viscous, but not too thick. At this point, you can remove your spices of your cheesecloth packet. We don't need that anymore, so we can discard that. And that's the finished product of your soup. Slightly thickened and ready to go. Adjust your seasonings one final time before it goes into your soup bowl. You want to go ahead and grate both of your cheeses and mix them together. And we can, at this point, we can check the soup, give it a final taste, and make sure we have enough seasonings and the taste is perfect, so that we can go ahead and finish up our soup with the last important step. You want the soup to be strong in onion flavor, but not too salty. And if you have it, in the last 5 minutes or so, you can add some Calvados brandy to your soup. That rounds out the flavor very well. At this point, we're going to go ahead and fill our bowls. I have porcelain oven-proof bowls at this point. We top it off with our croutons that we baked earlier, a slice of provolone cheese, and a nice heaping mound of your grated cheeses, the Gruyere and the Comté cheeses. Trust me with these 3 cheese choices. These three cheeses go really well with this French onion soup. At this point, when you top it off with your cheese, place it directly underneath the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes. You want it melted all the way through until the point where your soup starts bubbling and the cheese starts browning. After that, take it straight out of the oven and give it about 5-10 minutes to cool before transferring it to a plate. This is what your soup should look like. There should be no signs of soup leaking through, and your cheese should be acting as a sealed barrier to the top of your soup. Transfer your soup to a plate, and before you dig in, just be careful. The soup and the dish is really hot, so don't just go ahead and dig in. Just take precautions before doing so. This is your finished product, and this is French soup done the proper way. If you like what you see, smash that like button, subscribe, and follow. Much thanks to you for watching this video, and I hope you get to try it out someday. Now is a good time for soups because the nights are chilly, so if you have time and the ingredients to do so, try this soup out. You'll never be disappointed. Look at that. Crispy edges of the cheese. Yummy. Aloha.